This video is brought to you by John Robson Guitar Tuition. If you enjoy the content, please consider supporting the channel by enrolling on a course, purchasing some guitar lessons or a t-shirt, or you can join my Patreon. Now, on with the show. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. As you probably gathered, it's back to the 1990s for today's solo analysis. That was the Noel Gallagher solo from the Oasis track, Some Might Say. Now, back in the day, Oasis came in for a lot of flack and a lot of criticism, largely from people a bit like me, who were kind of blues rock, classic rock kind of fans, and you know, they were seen as, maybe not quite the real deal. But I was always a big supporter of Oasis and bands of their ilk, because it wasn't that long before, that few years previously, that the whole world was seized with this fascination for electronic rave dance music, allegedly. And then along came Kurt Cobain, I guess, and Nirvana, and then Noel Gallagher and his crew, and suddenly playing loud, ballsy, foot-stomping rock and roll electric guitar was fashionable again. So it was a good thing, in my opinion. And that's the reason I've done this solo. And here's a little bit of an explanation, rather, of what's going on in the solo.
Solo explanation.
Okay, so let's take a quick look at what's going on here, starting as always with what the solo is played over. The first four bars are basically F sharp minor, going down to an F major, what we would call a chromatic mediant modulation there, and then to a C major, to an A major. Basically we're in the key of D here, and we're using two chords that are borrowed from parallel keys, if you like. But the F major comes from the key of D minor, and the C major is a borrowed chord from the key of G major. So it's a little bit of an exercise right there in those first four bars of modal interchange. Did Noel know that? Does it matter? It works. And then we're into the main meat of the solo, which is played over D major, I think, for two bars, and then B minor for two bars, then a bar of G to a bar of D, then to two bars of A. And then the vocals re-enter after that on a D chord. So what's he playing over this then? Well, we start over that F sharp minor chord with this little run here, just basically using D major pentatonic. Like that. So just the F sharp, E and D notes over that F sharp minor chord. Then he's got to be a little bit kind of careful over this next couple of chords, the F and the C, that he doesn't go to that F sharp. If you play an F sharp note over an F chord, there's an F chord. And let's hear an F sharp note over the top of that. Yeah, not pretty, is it? So what he does is he just kind of bends this E note here, a semitone, up to F. So you get... Then he takes a similar ploy on the C chord, except he kind of comes out of it by going up the scale, up the D major pentatonic there, to this A note, and then just plays that A, B, D, E, D set of notes there over that A chord. Then we're into, as I say, the main meat of the solo after that little intro phase where we're over the D, B minor, all that sort of stuff. And what we do here is just, it starts off with a little bit of D major pentatonic. Like that. And then from there on in, really, it's all sort of D major scaled double stops, thirds. You can basically take a D major scale D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, and harmonise that, each note paired up with a note a third above it, so you get D and F sharp, E and G, F sharp and A, and then he doesn't go this far, but you could do G and B, A and C sharp, B and D, and then C sharp and E, and then the D and the F sharp again. Although we do use this one, the C sharp and the E, down here. So let me just take a quick look at the tab so that I can remind myself of these licks. It's amazing how it's easy to remember these things in context when you're playing it, but you know, you're kind of breaking it down a little bit at a time and you lose your train of thought. So yeah, that first double stop lick goes like this. Something like that, basically just kind of coming up that series of double stops there. And then we've got the same double stop lick played twice. And then again, and that's when we come down to, after that, this C and F, the C sharp and E pair, and that's the solo. Just really nice use of double stops, you know, just in that D major scale harmonised kind of thing. Whether or not Noel Gallagher knew that he was playing harmonised thirds from the D major scale, you know, whether he knew that or not, does it matter? He was doing it, and it's obviously something that he understood how to do. And what's more, that, you know, the fact that he comes to rest on this D and F sharp pair here, rather than this E and G pair, or this C sharp and E pair, he comes to rest over the D chord on this pair of notes that are actually in a D chord. He doesn't bring this C sharp and E pair of notes in until there's an A chord there, which you can see quite clearly those notes are in the A chord. So there's a degree of understanding there which, you know, isn't something that many people, I think, give Noel credit for. But yeah, it's a great little solo. It's memorable, it's catchy. He knows how to craft a lick that that works. I've talked about this many times, you know, using repetition in a solo. That lick there, by the time you hear it over again, it's the chord has changed, so the lick sounds different. So you get over a G chord and over a D chord, it just makes the lick sound different. It's a great way of getting more mileage out of a simple lick. Play it again, chances are when you play it for the second time the chord will have changed and therefore the lick will sound different. Useful little thing to remember that. So there you go. There's not a lot of stuff to really kind of milk out of this explanation. It is what it is. It's a little bit of D major pentatonic. As I said there, he's like he did in the Don't Look Back in Anger solo that I looked at a while ago. He's very fond of this position 1 pentatonic here, and he'll bend this note up a tone when the chord will accept it. But like as we saw here, where there's the F chord, we can't really hit that F sharp note that you'd bend to over that chord. So he instinctively, or, you know, I don't know, instinctively or whatever, but he understands to only bend that E note up a semitone so that it coincides with the F chord. So there's a few nice little tips and lessons you can learn from this solo, and now you know what's going on, go away and have some fun with it. And as always, you'll find a full tab for the solo in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, and the clip of me playing it, and that explanation you've just seen there, and a backing track to play along with for yourself. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address on screen, and the link is in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or £2.50 a month gets you access to all of these additional resources that go along with these YouTube videos. A massive, massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that, or any of the other ways, all of which which are linked down in the description. Thank you so much, everyone. And that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed what you've seen and found it useful, informative, and perhaps even entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. Why not give me a like while you're at it? Don't forget, as always, the live stream every Friday, 5 p.m. UK time. We drink beer, we talk music, we talk guitars. Great way to kick off the weekend. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.